The conference championship games, and one of the games we didn't think would be that competitive turned out to pretty good one in the first half between Ohio State and Wisconsin. A rematch from earlier in the season. First quarter, no score. Buckeyes ready. Jonathan Taylor, someone didn't tell the Buckeye or a Bucky in this one early.
This is a great sign for Wisconsin. Remember that first game? Wisconsin had 83 yards rushing. And this one, Jonathan Taylor, big day, 20 carries, 148 yards.
And just like that, 7-0 Wisconsin. Second quarter, 2nd and 4. What about Jack Cohner?
Supposed to just be a game manager, right? But he was so good on the road last week against Minnesota. He was good in this one, throwing it. Also had 2 rushing touchdowns.
As we blinked and it was Wisconsin 14-0, thinking, uh-oh, what's going on? Justin Fields had a knee issue, sprained MCL. You could tell early on. Finds K.J. Hill, 27-yard gain, sets up J.K. Dobbins.
K.J. Hill, no knee issue, 7 catches, 83 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And then J.K. here takes the outside. Buckeyes get on the board, 14-7 at this point. Third quarter now, they made up their yards in a hurry. Fields finally has some time to fight Chris Olave.
Yeah, he got sacked a bunch in the first half. Second half, though, came out and started playing with more sense of urgency. You talked about the sprained MCL. It did not affect his mobility. Here finding Chris Olave for 50 yards.
Fields then finds Jeremy Ruckert, 16-yard TD. What a grab by Ruckert.
Yeah, could this be a top play is the only question, Barry. Are you going to bring it back for top plays? Great one-handed grab by Ruckert.
You know, I do have that kind of power. Ensuing drive, how about this? Special teams can be huge in a game like this.
And all the momentum was going Ohio State's way. Anthony Lottie, the punter, just drops the ball.
That was it. And then you talked about momentum. Fields to Hill, 16-yard touchdown.
And Hill now is the career leader at Ohio State for receptions in a career.
And again, they just made it happen quick. Buckeyes lead 24-21. Fourth quarter, it was time to impose their will. Fields, Benjamin Victor, 28-yard game.
299 yards and 3 TDs passing for Fields, and he was really good on 3rd and long. That one there, 3rd and 18.
And here's Hill again, 14-yard touchdown. He had a nice game.
Yeah, and this one put the game away right here.
It did.
When they go up 2 scores, the way the defense played in the second half, there's nothing Wisconsin could do.
And then late in the game, Wisconsin tried to do something, and they couldn't. That Ohio State defense corralled Jonathan Taylor on that one. Ohio State, 3rd consecutive Big Ten championship. 34-21, Buckeyes pull away. Early on, 14-0, Wisconsin up. That Ohio State offense didn't look great, Jesse, but when you look at what Justin Fields was able to do in the second half, he was able to settle down and get into rhythm.
He really was, and it really was a tale of 2 halves, if you will, for Justin Fields in this one. You know, one of the big knocks that we've said all season long about Justin Fields, he likes to hold on to the football. And earlier in this game, when guys weren't open downfield, he wasn't checking the football down. He wasn't throwing it away. He doesn't want to punt. Here it's 3rd and 10. He's got a clean pocket, but now you're getting into 4 or 5 seconds. You got to just throw this football away. He was sacked 5 times in this game. Second half now, playing with more of a sense of urgency. Here rolling out. The out route's not there. He doesn't take it, but he's able to extend by time. We haven't seen Justin Fields have to make a lot of big plays in the second half of games this year, but he did in this one. He was terrific.
Wisconsin had 294 yards of total offense in the first half. 138 in the second half, and it was a great defensive adjustment. A lot more zone on the back end. It was man-to-man early. It cleared things up for Cone, knew where to throw it. They ran the ball well. They had to come in the box, and then the zone coverage, you could see the confusion it caused for Cone. They had 6 yards rushing in the second half, and so now all of a sudden, Cone doesn't know where to go with this ball because it's zone. I always say for quarterbacks, if you get man-to-man coverage, they go to their best athlete. Situation, you can put him in a decision-making process against a defense flying around like Ohio State. Then he has to now think, where do I want to throw this ball? And you can see a difference.
Yeah, kind of a wake-up process for Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship. Kind of sputtered around early, but when they found their groove, a lot of people arguing now you probably shouldn't take them out of that one spot based on what they were able to do. We'll hear from the Buckeyes coming up in just a bit on College Football Final. Did they do enough in these guys' minds to stay at the top of the rankings? The game of the day, and we figured this was probably going to be a very competitive one in the rematch between Oklahoma and Baylor. Oklahoma looking for their 5th straight Big 12 title. Charlie Brewer scrambles, goes to his left, sacked by Kenneth Murray. This was big because his head slammed into the turf, Jess.
Yeah, it slams into the ground, and they're going to have to now go to a freshman quarterback in Jerry Bohannon, who's going to have to now lead them A scary moment for Baylor, scary moment for Charlie.
Yeah, so he would come back out for a series, play, and then they yanked him out. He was ruled out with a head injury. And you'd mentioned now Oklahoma 12-yard line. Jalen Hurts to Lee Morris over the middle, but he's picked.
And that's his 7th interception of the season. In the back half, Oklahoma's been in some close games, and the reason, turning the ball over.
All right, so we mentioned Gary Bohannon coming in to replace Brewer, 3rd and 20 for Bohannon. How about climbing the pocket and finding Tyquan
Yeah, tremendous
Thornton?
poise by the freshman quarterback, and this is on 3rd and 20. Finds Tyquan Thornton. That was really the only big play Oklahoma's defense gave up in the first half.
Baylor tied it 10 up, led 13-10 at the half. Third quarter, 3rd and 6. Oklahoma, 18-yard line. Nick Basquin touchdown pass, his first since 2016.
Check the location on this pass by Hurts. Back shoulder. Basquin is 5'11", and he finds a way to squeeze it in.
Oklahoma comes back, takes the lead, 3rd and 12. Bohannon tries to escape, sacked by Jalen Redmond.
Yeah, Bohannon was only 1 for 4 for -2 yards, so they're going to make another switch at QB. They'd go to another freshman quarterback.
All right, so Jacob Zeno, true freshman, wasn't even on the depth chart entering Saturday's game. This is his first throw in the Big 12 championship to Treston Ebner.
And it's not a bad throw at all, and it gets the offense rolling for Baylor. Sometimes these young freshmen come into a game, they don't know what they're doing. They just step in and just sling it. Great throw.
Perhaps here ignorance was bliss. 81-yard touchdown. Baylor now within 3. Remember, that was Zeno's first pass of the game. Here's Zeno's second pass attempt of the game. 78 yards to Chris Platt. First Baylor quarterback in history to have 2 75-yard-plus passes in the same game.
And great play design by Baylor there. Platt going out, looking as if he's going to block a DB. Then he turns it up on the wheel route, giving his true freshman quarterback an easy throw.
Who is this kid? So 3rd and 3, 10-yard line. Few plays later, Zeno's going to roll right and has to throw it away.
And pressure on the quarterback of Baylor has been a problem for him all day long in this game. 6 sacks for Oklahoma's defense.
We had a field goal. We're now tied at 23. 3 minutes to play. 1st and 20. Hurts scrambles, finds CeeDee Lamb. Big 31-yard gain.
CeeDee Lamb was the X factor. Remember, he missed their first meeting together, had 8 catches for $173.
Few plays later, 3rd and 3. Hurts again scrambles, tries to find Lamb for what looks like a completion, but have another look. See, it's right under his stomach.
Didn't pull this one in, and that would matter. Now it's 4th and 3.
All right, so Lincoln Riley elects to punt. They played for overtime, did Baylor after they got the ball back. First possession in overtime. Ramondre Stevenson takes it 5-yard score.
Kennedy Brooks got hurt, so Stevenson comes in, has a big play in OT.
Ensuing Baylor possession, 4th and 20. Zeno pressured, has to throw it up, doesn't get anything out of it, and Oklahoma wins their 5th consecutive Big 12 title and potentially punching their ticket to the college football playoff.
They played like they have the majority this year. There's great defense being played at the University of Oklahoma right now. Man, I'm proud of those guys, the coaches, all our guys, man. We hung in there, didn't play our best. We beat a damn good team here today, and we're the champs.
If I would have ever thought as a true freshman starting for Coach Saban, winning the SEC championship, going to a national championship, that I would be a Big 12 champion with the Oklahoma Sooners in 3 years, I thought he was lying too.
They've got a job to do. I get that. We've had a job to do as a team, which was continue to prove through the year, trust the things that we could, and then ultimately win a Big 12 championship. We've done that. We'll see whatever road it takes us on, but whichever one it is, we'll be ready.
All right, Lincoln has now won 3 straight Big 12 championship games. That puts him on an elite list of Power 5 head coaches that have won a conference championship game in 3 straight years. Riley, the only one there who has not won the national championship. So we don't know if this will get Oklahoma into the playoff, but we do know Baylor is done.
And more importantly, you know, we'll be back. So I told the young guys, like, feel that pain of watching those guys, you know, pull that stuff out and celebrate and let that drive you in the offseason. But at the same time, also understand what we've done, right? Like, we walked off the field, and, I mean, Oklahoma fans stood to applaud. And we're not doing it for, you know, fan, but I mean, I think people recognize, even this week, some of the national stuff was, you know, can you believe Baylor? Can you believe that's how many teams would play with their third string quarterback and come back and get in there? That's a tough group. So I feel like that's why I said you have nothing to hang your head about.
I'll tell you, remarkable season for Matt Rule and Baylor. Nothing to hang their heads on. But when you look at Oklahoma, who was their big play guy on Saturday?
When CeeDee Lamb is on the field for Oklahoma's offense, they're completely different. He is that go-to guy for Jalen Hurts. When he gets scrambling around and you see him looking downfield, it's usually CeeDee Lamb is going to be that guy who had 8 catches, 173 yards in this game. He gets it in his hands. You can always count on him making a couple guys miss. Now, if one of you two would pick up a block, this would be a touchdown. You guys that are all the way there.
6.
But CeeDee Lamb on the field gives Oklahoma a chance to always get the ball to the end zone because Jalen Hurts keeps his eyes downfield, and that's the guy he's looking for, one of the best receivers in the country.
And their defense is so improved this year, guys, playing with better effort, limiting mistakes, but their front seven has done an outstanding job all year getting pressure on quarterbacks. Watch Kenneth Murray get aggressive and get downhill on the QB run. They're trying to pull the backside guard. He runs right by him and makes the tackle for a loss. And then you've got disruption up front, 3rd and 12. Jalen Redmond on the D tackle position, going to loop all the way around the outside and get home for the sack on Bohannon. And then just tackles and ends, twisting back and forth. Nick Bonito, Jalen Redmond here working in tandem and getting home. Defensive coordinator Alex Grinch has done an outstanding job. They're a more complete team than the one Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield led to the playoffs themselves. And it's because of this defense, I think at least it gives them a puncher's chance versus whoever they play in the semifinals.
And that's it. Going in with past Oklahoma teams, like, yeah, they've got a great offense, but they
Last year
can't stop
was embarrassing
anybody.
against Alabama.
Yeah, perhaps this gives
Different
them
story
the
this
opportunity if they get into the college football playoff. Just getting started here on college football final. Clemson rolled. LSU, are they the number 1 team? So much to discuss on Championship Saturday.